Now, and you're head of the product development, which is awesome. And I can't wait for you to share what we talked about with the group. I'm so impressed on how well Skylum is so in tune with our customer base and willing to listen to new ideas. So with that, I'm going to let you take over.
Yep.
And I'll be here with you.
Sure. First of all, hello everyone. It's really nice to participate in this deep dive to event, and it's really cool for us to be much closer to our users, and we do really appreciate it, and that's really awesome. So if you don't mind, I will start. I would like to share my screen and start with the presentation.
You got it.
Okay, just a second. Okay, that's my presentation is over here. Okay. Okay, before I start, I would like to say that my presentation is not going to be so creative as previous ones, because I saw previous presentations. They were really cool and creative.
So I think Evgenie, if I could say though, for a lot of folks, they don't understand how Luminar is made, or they want to understand, like when we say, oh, we need you to file a bug report, or, oh, it'd be really helpful if you could send in those photos that aren't working correctly for you for AI, because you're going to explain how Luminar gets made now, which is actually fascinating because most people never understand where software actually comes from other than the internet.
Okay, Richard, thank you. So, I will start. First of all, I would like to cover a couple of topics. The first one is about what changes we did in our product management process, and the second one topic is about how new features comes into Luminar. And at the end of the presentation, for those who will stay with us, I have prepared some facts, interesting facts about Luminar, so I hope you will like it. So let's start from the first one, from the changes, what changes we did in product management process. Before I start, I would like to say that we did huge changes in our product management process. And the first one is that we have started to regularly gather feedback from our users. Something that we did before, but we did it most likely occasionally. It was like occasional activity, but it was not regular. Now we're putting it on the rails and we're doing it regularly. Why are we doing that? The first of all, just to identify the key pains our users face, to identify new opportunities that we have probably missed somehow, and to solve their pains, or to find that new opportunities and bring them into new AI, features, or using AI technologies to solve our users' problems. That's the first thing and the main thing. Why are we doing that? Because we need our users' feedback, our users' pains, some things when they are missing something, like a source of our, like a source for our creativity. The second one thing, oh my God. The second one thing, another one change, that developing a new features or developing a new technologies, the first one thing we're thinking about is how our users are waiting for it, or is there any if this feature is desirable for our users, whether it could help our users to solve their problems. Only for that, we're thinking about whether it's viable from the business perspective. And the third one part is whether it's feasible from the techie side.
So and to make sure I'm understanding, Evgenie, what you're doing here is, before we even look at is it possible or is it cool, we're making sure that Skylum customers, Luminar users go, this really is going to help me, or this really solves my problem, because otherwise we don't want to make a tool that's not useful first.
Exactly, exactly. We don't need tools only just for tools. We need, you should understand that we are creating tools which solves our users' problem, which solves them to be more creative. We need only tools which helps our users to bring their creativity to the new level. So we are starting from our users' needs. That's really important for us to understand that our users are looking for something and they are waiting for some features. If nobody wants it, we don't want to add it in our product. That's really important for us. And if everything matches, that could be the most valuable solution for us and for our users as well. So that's why we continue to communicate a lot with our users, and we do really appreciate your feedback. And we want to say thank you for all our users who we communicated with and who helped us to get their feedback. So why it's important? Why it's important for us? First of all, because it helps us to be much stronger as a company, as a product, and as a team. Why? Because sometimes we are paying enough attention to some so-called attractive wow features like scar replacement, like atmospheric AI, and so many other features. And sometimes we miss something which our users are asking us for. As you can remember, Richard, he helped us to conduct this survey about how fast Luminar is, whether it's speed or not, or whether it's sorry for my English. Richard helped.
I put the link in the chat for people to take the survey and at the speed. And after we did the survey, I noticed, especially in the beta version, I wrote to you guys right away, oh my God, what did you do? Luminar is so much faster. And like you said, you listen, like, oh, okay, these are things you need us to do.
Yeah, exactly. We decided just to ask our users how fast Luminar is, and we saw that we decided to split some part of Luminar into some logic cases and ask our users to give us a feedback whether this part is slow or not slow, or it's fast or slow, fast or slow. And using this information, we understood that in some cases Luminar is a bit slow. So understanding that, we decided just to hold some AI features and to bring a bit more attention to our speed, to Luminar speed. So that's why we did a huge changes in Luminar 1.3 version, and we have increased that. We have increased the speed of Luminar. So that's why your feedback is really important for us, and we do really appreciate when you give it to us. Okay, the next one, change in our product management process. We decided to split a bit our activities from product management perspective into two directions. The first one, we decided to create two dedicated teams. The first one team, so-called as a first mile experience product team. It will be focused more on new users, newcomers who came into Luminar, just to work with their engagement into the product. The main activity of this team is to help our new Luminar AI users to engage into the product and to help them to get much more value from Luminar AI in the shortest period of time. That's something that we have missed before, and we understood that people who are new to Luminar AI, they can't feel the full power of our product. And we decided to empower this activity. The second one team is retention team. It will be stayed with it will be more focused on our current user, and the main activity of this team is to bring our user much more value using Luminar AI for those people who are using Luminar AI on the regular basis. So we're thinking about new functionality, about some new workflows, what is going to be changed or not changed, about users, key users' pains, and so on. How to solve them how to bring them into new technologies, new AI technologies.
Yeah. So Eugen, it's funny because you guys pushed that on us to make sure we're helping with the new members, and Harrington invoked a new user Friday, and one of the members put your product evangelist and insider host do an excellent job in engaging the new users. And it's funny because it's you guys and Harrington, but we're the ones getting the credit for it. So, but we thank you tremendously for your work and effort.
Yeah, I know. I would like to say also, you guys, a big thank you, because you helped us with that new onboarding process in Tron, which is already designed in our Luminar AI. So the new users who will get the Luminar AI will try our new onboarding, which is inside the Luminar AI. So Rich is already knew about that, and he helped us with designing it. So that's something how it works.
This next topic is going to be phenomenal. This is what everyone likes to know, how these new features come into it. So
okay. Before I'm going to start about talking about that, I would like to say that believe me or not, but it's really hard thing. It's really hard process for us. But anyway, it could be splitted into the 3 logical stages, and I'm going to tell a bit more about what are these stages. The first one stage is information gathering stage. Why do we need that? Because we are not we do have a lot of clever and genius people in our team, but anyway, we need to feel the market and to understand the market. Also, we need to understand our users as well. We need to understand what pains they faced using Luminar AI or any other photo editing software. We need to understand new opportunities which we could bring to our users, and that's really important for us. So we are using different product management mechanics to gather information from the market, from our users, from some other users, from the whole market. So we're conducting tons of surveys, we're doing deep interviews with our users, we're doing product researches, collecting our customers' feedback, and so on. And the main idea here is to grab a lot of information about some new trends, about core pains our users faced, about some new features which some of our competitors has already launched. So it's the whole information gathering stage when we are trying to understand if there are any new opportunities which could be interesting for us and for our users in the next version of Luminar AI, or in the next release, or something like that.
And Eugene, I love that at the top here, and this is important, folks, the surveys and the deep interviews. So a lot of times people see surveys and they think that, oh, they're just asking so that they feel like we're listening to us. I can verify that this information is intensely studied by the team. And when you take the time to add comments or you send in detailed emails, these are actually read, because the whole goal of AI here is to make sure that we're solving problems and making things easier for you.
Exactly, Rich. Thank you for that clarification. I want to convince each user that each feedback is read by our team. It's not going to be put it on a shelf without nobody from the team read it before. So each feedback is processed, and we are using it to understand what's going to be further. So it's really important to understand that we are reading everything and we are processing everything. It's really important to us to communicate with our users because it helps us to create these roadmaps on how our product will be goes next quarter, next year, next 10 years. It's really important for us. The next one stage is to understand the value. After we have already gathered the feedback, it's really important to understand after we have gathered the feedback and created some so-called opportunities, it's really important to understand if this opportunity really solves the user problem or not. How many users ask us for that feature or new opportunity? How do it really easy to use? If we need an AI to help users to use this feature or not, and so on. So it's really important to understand that this feature does really solve users' problems. If not, it's better for us to take those opportunities which solves users' problem or which could bring our users and the new value or the value as it is.
And Eugene, I want to emphasize here that when you guys are looking at the AI, one of the things that's been amazing, and I'll just give an example of this, right? So like with our portrait tools, we had a lot of great input and we released them. And then a bunch of really great retouchers, gave us a lot of positive feedback after the release, but also wanted to see the way that we gently shaped the face tweaked a little bit. And we also got some great suggestions for shine removal. And they were able to provide wonderful before and after examples where they showed the team what they did, but it was taking them like 20 or 30 minutes. And then you guys were able to take that feedback through those intense interviews and those before and after images and create completely new technology because AI is learning from the best photographers. That's how we work. It's just not a button you push or something you download from Google. You guys learned from that and were able to take that 20-minute step or process and turn it into 2 sliders that they were happy with. And so I think it's really important here that like you guys not just learn the problem, but then directly involve the people who have the problem in teaching the software to solve the problem.
Yep, exactly, Rich. We're not, we are using our users' images, not users, we are using our users' feedback to help us, and that their feedback helps us to improve our AI technologies. That's right. Really important.
That's only, and just so nobody worries here, that's 100% opt-in, where people volunteer to send us before and after images or challenges. We don't see anything in your Luminar library. We don't see any of your images. We don't store any of your images on our servers, none of our cloud processing. All of the processing and AI happens on your local machine. So unlike Adobe's, which cloud and AI tools have to upload data to the cloud to analyze, we do everything local. So for those of you who are a little secure or nervous, what Eugene's talking about here is 100% voluntary opt-in where people are sharing their info with us. But for those of you who have privacy concerns, we have the most amazing, solid privacy policy. So I wanted everyone to be reassured of that.
Sure. Be sure that we are not using any images. All your images are stored on your devices. We don't have permission to use them, and we even can't see what's going on over there on your computer. So as Richard has said, that's really as it is. So let's move to the third stage. The third stage is the really important stage for us because even we understood that opportunity is really valuable for us, we need to understand if it's possible to bring the magic into your life. In other words, whether our developers could code this, and using our AI technologies could help you to solve your problem, because it's really hard sometimes to you understand the problem, and sometimes it's really hard to learn your using our ML. Using our ML, sometimes it's really hard to create the best solutions. Sometimes it works not as it was expected. So our research and development team is doing the best to get you the best solution with the highest quality. And sometimes we can't get the highest quality. So we need some time to polish everything, to bring you tools which works the best, which could cover the, I know, up to 90% of cases. So that's most likely, I can't deep into the details because I don't have a lot of time, but believe me, if you would like to hear a bit more about that, you can ask us. I think that next time or during the next event, we can bring a bit more information about what's going on behind the scene in our product management team. As I have already mentioned at the start of the presentation, there are some interesting facts about Luminar AI. I hope you have never heard about them, because if you did, it would be a bit wired, how it's better to say.
Yeah.
Odd, I don't know.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Okay, the first one fact is, if you have never heard about that, Luminar consists of 1,420,000 lines of code. It's
wow. That's a lot of code.
Yeah, that's a lot of code, and generally Luminar could be seen as a really smart product with a lot of sliders, but you would never think that it consists of too many lines of code, because we have a lot of engineers who are trying to deliver a bit more features, more interesting features. Our product managers are trying to bring a lot of new interesting features to which solves our users' needs or problems into the product. So that's why it's this
and that's one of the reasons why we restarted Luminar AI from the ground up, right? Because the old code couldn't keep up with the new code.
Yep, exactly. Sometimes it's not only how to say, it's better to say that for example, when we decided to speed up a bit our Luminar AI, we removed a lot of code which was useless or which was not so effective. I do believe that one day our Chief Technical Officer will join this deep dive or any other event, and he will share a bit more information about that, because I can't share all the information because I do believe that other guys will do that a bit much better than I could do that. So that's the first fact I just would like to share with you. Hope it was interesting. Another one thing that tech guys could probably knew about that, but our product we are using these technologies for Luminar AI in terms of development. This is C++, Objective-C, C#, OpenCL Suite, and many other technologies, many other new technologies we are starting using today and going to use in the future. And the third one, and the most interesting fact, that at the moment we have 5 new AI features which are in research and development process at the moment, and we are working on that. I can predict that some people would ask what are these technologies, but to be frank, I would like to answer that stay tuned, guys, and keep updated. You will get all the information soon. Unfortunately, I can't share this information at the moment, but just on the amount of technologies which are at the moment on our research and development stage.
Yeah,
And it's hard because we're so excited about it.
What the research and development stage does, so everyone understands, is these are building new things from the ground up that don't exist anywhere. So like sky replacement, my understanding was that took the team about 6 years to build. And that Accent AI took about 4 years to build. And that's not one person, that's a bunch of people working. So, you know, we're always innovating and working on new stuff, but we are expecting another update a little bit later this year. That's update 4, and we've promised that Bokeh's coming. So, you know, we've already teased that feature. So we do like to sneak things out a little bit. And one thing, Eugene, that I'm going to say that I didn't even see coming, and you guys snuck it out, but it's beautiful, and that's the human-aware read lighting inside of Sky AI. I'm really excited that you guys have figured out how to recognize people in pictures and let us apply adjustments just to people. So I know that that's going to lead to many other cool things in the future.
I hope.
Spoken like a true product manager. I hope I can keep everyone focused and working hard because I know what's possible and I want to deliver amazing things.
Oh yeah, guys. Okay, and the last one thing I would like to ask our users who are just participate in this deep dive and listening to us, and what I'd like to ask, Bonale, I have shared with you a link to our survey. Yep. Do you have it right now or not?
Yep, we've been putting in the chat throughout your talk.
Yeah, could you please put it on the chat? I would like to ask our users to help us with their feedback, because we need new inspiration for our teams. And could you please answer this survey so we can get feedback to our product management teams? And it would help us to, using this survey, it would help us to get more ideas on what else we could, what else problems we could solve using our AI technologies. That would be really useful for us in the future. So that's it. I have already finished. I hope, okay, that's okay. So if there are any questions, I can answer that. Manele, you're my manager right now, so what should I do?
Well, a lot of people are asking, have you come back on coffee break and have you guys more on the shows regularly? But that's great. Yeah, so we've been answering the questions in the chat as we go along. Of course, they're asking about the mobile edition. You know, are we going to someday have Luminar AI on the mobile platform?
Okay, guys. What's about mobile platform? I think that in the nearest futures, our marketing team will provide some clarification about the mobile platform. Just stay tuned and keep updated. At the moment, I can't tell you something about mobile platform. Just keep updated. We'll bring that information in the nearest future.
But what you just did there, just so everyone's clear, because we did unveil this at the last coffee break, in case you didn't know, because we haven't made a lot of noise about it, Eugene did just basically say, though, we do have people actively working on mobile stuff, and soon we're going to be sharing details with you about that. So if you didn't catch that, we are confirming that we are working on it. So that is the first step of being willing to say, yes, we're actually doing that, means we're pretty excited about how it's going. So, and
Okay.
Eugene, people would love to catch up with you on those coffee breaks. So it's a great chance to hang out, and we've got some of our most passionate, active customers who come and ask questions. So if you're willing to join some of those, I know that they would love it. We're getting a lot of other questions from folks. One of them, Eugene, that I think is important is people are trying to understand, you know, why Luminar sometimes tries to automate things like with AI. So could you just briefly explain the logic of why we decide to attach AI to some tools and why other tools are manual tools? If you could just kind of give us the overview of that, that might help people understand why we offer both.
Sure, sure. First of all, because why are we trying to automate and using AI? Because people most likely would like. Okay, you can do, for example, it's a really easy example. You can do a sky replacement in some other software, but it would take you a lot of time to do it perfectly. Uh, in Luminar, you can replace the sky just in a few clicks, and you'll get a pretty awesome result. Uh, First of all, we don't, using AI, we trying to enhance your creativity. We're trying to bring your creativity to the next level. Something which you even can't imagine. That's why we are using AI, and that's why we are trying to automate things. For sure, you can do that manually, but you can do it manually, spending a lot of time, and not we are not sure, even sometimes you are not sure that you will get those results without an AI. So that's the main reason, because we want our users to be more creative, and we want AI to help our users to bring their creativity to the up the new level. That's the main answer. Okay.
That's awesome. Well, Eugene, this has been so helpful. We really appreciate you taking time out. I know it's a little late for you over there in Europe, but we really are so glad that you made time in your day to share this info. And folks, what this really means here is, I hope you're seeing that we've really been, with the launch of Luminar AI, it was based on listening to what people wanted. And I know, and I'm seeing in the chat, some of you are asking about features like, well, why not this? Or will you bring this back? And what we're looking to do is, we're gathering that feedback, but what we try really hard to do is to continue to not just duplicate what's in other tools, but find new and better ways. And so while you might find it useful to be able to search on a property in your library, you might also find it useful to just let the computer find your sharpest photos, as an example. So, there's many different ways to solve problems, and Luminar is going to continue to give you that perfect balance of ways that are fast and innovative and let you do more. But that's why we still also have HSL tools and the light tools so you can fine tune. So you heard Miles talking about being an artist. You've heard Eugene giving you some of that insight. Eugene, this has been excellent. I know we've got another guest coming up. Eugene, if you have a moment, it would be wonderful if there's any questions in the Q&A or the chat area that you feel comfortable answering. And Vinelli is going to share that survey link again. Folks, if you take that survey, there's an opportunity to provide some feedback as well as your contact info. And so that would really help us out, and you might actually be gotten in contact with. So Eugene, is there anything else you want to toss out here at the end of the day before Vinelli brings on our next guest?
Just one thing that I would like to ask our users that if you have some interesting questions, or if you would like us to cover some topic, we can do that on our coffee break. We can join. I can ask other product manager to join this coffee break event, and we can cover some other topics. I think that it would be more detailed, more interesting for you and us as well. So that's all I would like to say. And thank you for your attention. And I hope that you have understood what I was talking about. Okay.
Absolutely. No, you did great. The feedback and the questions have been wonderful. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And one piece of good news that people were asking, a couple of you missed it. There was a question of, oh, when will there be an M1 native version? We already have it, guys. It came out with update 3, and you could download that by just logging into your My Skylum account or going to the support page. You have to download the M1 version. So if you didn't have the M1 version installed, when you run the update, it installs the non-M1 version. So just go to the support page and you can download that. I'll put the link into the chat.